Well, how exciting has Nationals Park been the last couple of days? Folks thirsting for offense, a ball club looking for big offense, and they got everything in this series so far. So it's the anatomy of a 14-game win streak against one opponent. Look at the scoring, 106-38, 7 or more 8 times, batting way over 300, and the pitchers getting the job done as well. How quickly things can change over a couple of days in the game of baseball. And the bottom line is the Nats have gained a couple of games on Atlanta as well.
Yeah, they're playing very well. Offense is cool. It's nice to see it. Some historic offense in this series, if you will. It's been fun to watch, from Trey Turner to Mark Reynolds. The series has been amazing. Remember Trey the first night, the home run to get things started. It was 9-1 at that time, and you're thinking, do they have a chance? Well, he cemented that with this, a grand slam to make it 10-9. So 8 RBIs in that game for Trey Turner, and look at the numbers: 3 for 5, 2 home runs, 8 RBI, and then Carp last night was all about the big boy, Mark Reynolds.
Yeah, and Mark got it started, of course, with the walk-off thing on Friday. That came out of nowhere. He was a pinch hitter, and that was it for the second game of the series. And then last night, he just went crazy. First time up, he left the yard. He would do it time and time again with the extra base hits. And before we knew it, he had tied Anthony Rendon's club record with 10 runs batted in one game. And so now he has 11 over the last couple of ball games, and things have just totally awakened around here.
Yeah, and some of my friends are saying, well, it's the Marlins. They're in last place. They're 15 and a half games back. They came into this series playing much better than Nats. The Nats are taking care of business.
So we hope to take care of some more business today. Hey, don't forget about the teenager. It's not like Soto's not doing anything. In this series, 4 hits, 2 of them doubles. He's driven in 5, walked a couple of times, and he's been firing the guys up as well. Continues to have great at-bats, like a guy who's much more veteran. Game 4 coming up. Who knows what's ahead today? PNC Bank. There's no better time to act than today. PNC, make today the day. And by Ocean City, Maryland. There's no end to the fun you'll have in Ocean City. Plan your trip today at ococean.com. So the Nats are within a game of 500 at home. They're back at 500 against the division. They're going to have a beautiful day on which to play a home game. 81 degrees, clear skies. And the Marlins, 11th in the league in batting average, 13th in runs, and the fewest home runs. JT Realmuto, well, he's having a good time. 9th in the league in hitting, 3 for 11, a homer in this series. Here comes Tanner Roark to Derek Dietrich, and we under are underway right on time at 1:35.
Yeah, 9 earned runs for Tanner last start through 7 innings. That was on the third 11-4 loss against the Red Sox. Derek Dietrich stuck his elbow in the strike zone there, didn't he?
Yeah, and they never call it anymore when hitters seemingly get hit intentionally. And for Dietrich, that's the 13th time he's been hit.
I mean, that's over the plate, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a strike. Leads the league being hit by pitches 13 times, and Tanner Roark, well, he's hit a few guys this year. I believe that's his 8th of the season.
You might want to keep an eye on next time around. I did that a few times, and the pitcher's attitude is, if you want to get hit, I will hit you. So we'll see what happens next time. 18th start for Tanner. But last start, Carp, you and I were talking about this. 7 innings, 9 earned runs. You know, he went out there and kind of wore it for the bullpen. How many times does that happen where a pitcher's done that and thrown less than 100 pitches? He threw 98 pitches his last start.
Yeah, that was really unusual.
It's a crazy stat to give up that many runs, to pitch that long, and to only throw 98 pitches. He said he liked his stuff after the game. So the clean-shaven Tanner Roark.
Brian Anderson is 3 for 7. A homer, 3 RBIs against the Nats this series. Marlins don't run hardly at all. 20 stolen bases, fewest in the National League. Dietrich 1 for 1. The double play has been the friend of Nationals pitchers on this homestand. See if Tanner can keep the ball down. That's going to be down and into the right-hander with some pretty good action on it. 2 balls, 1 strike. Off speed, had him out ahead.
Good changeup, 2-1. Looking fastball all the way. Kind of bummed we didn't do last night's game, by the way. Usually those days off are nice in the middle of the season, but I was paying attention last night. I'm like, that would have been a fun one. Glad for the guys. That was awesome. Big win. A defense for the Nats today. Try to go for the sweep of the Marlins. Soto, Harper, Eaton the outfield. Turner, Murphy up the middle. Reynolds, Adams at the corner. Spencer Keyboom behind the plate. Last night's hero playing third base. Came up with shortstop at UVA. Every day he takes grounders at second, takes grounders at short, takes grounders at third. He can pick it.
Yeah, a lot of third base in his big league career. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 3-2. Well, I think the whole ballpark had a good time last night. 34,364. I know those sitting close to my wife and I in section 308 were having a blast. It was catitude. And they had some interesting things up on the scoreboard. I think Jerome, right before first pitch, said, and it all starts right meow.
Did he really?
Yeah. That seemed to get everybody in the mood.
Well, I'm allergic to cats. That's why I didn't come last night.
3-2 pitch, leadoff man aboard. Hot shot, Turner. There's the double play ball. Plenty of time for Murphy to turn the 6-4-3. 75th of the year for the Nats. Since June 18th, when they win big. When they lose, they don't hardly hit at all. It's kind of crazy. But that's baseball, right? Nats offense, 35 runs over the last 3 games, 6 homers. Way too many walks by the Marlins pitching staff. And Brian Anderson doing great things. He's the one who just hit the double play ball, hit it sharply, but he's having a fantastic rookie year for them. Hitting in front of JT Realmuto, who has 3 hits and 3 RBIs in this series. He and Castro, with Castro first, went back-to-back homers last night against Max. Nats had an early 2-0 lead. That tied it, and then it was pretty much all Washington from there.
Max with his 11th win last night. the run support. If he could have divided some of those runs up over the last 4 starts, he'd be a 20-game winner already.
Close to it. And a good swing by Real Muto the other way. He just keeps on hacking. He's 11 for 27 career against Tanner with that base hit.
Nice piece of hitting right there. That's where the 300 hitters live. That's why he's hitting 305. Watch him, just the leg kick, nice and early and slow. The head perfectly still, stays on plane, and barrels up another baseball. He can play. We've been a fan before everybody else was a fan.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, we liked him right from maybe his first full season about 3 years ago. And here's the cleanup man, Justin Bour. Of his 5 career hits against Tanner, 3 are home runs. In this series, 1 long ball, 3 RBIs, 2 for 11. Pretty big hack. It's 1-2. Let's have a look at the shift with Murphy well out into right field. StatCast powered by AWS.
The 14% there, that's sour apple.
1-2. And Bour reaches out, tries to beat the shift to a knee. And then not able to handle the hop was Adams, and the runner, Real Muto, will end up at third base. Pretty good play by Reynolds to get to it.
Yeah, spin move, backhand play, basically playing shortstop. So, you know, as a utility player, you think, oh, I'm playing third today, but look where Mark Reynolds is, back at his old familiar shortstop, to a knee. I don't think he had a handle on that. Did you see the ball kind of move around in his hand on the transfer? Watch this. This will show you, right? See that? He's got palm ball. Then he throws kind of a changeup over there. He never got his fingertips behind the seams, and Matt Adams couldn't come up with it. Nice glove play, just had a little trouble on the exchange.
Mark Reynolds' second error of the year. Castro, the hitter.
Tough error.
Yeah.
Sliding play. Unfamiliar position.
And this one popped up by Starlin Castro. Adams over to have a look, and it's about 8 or 10 feet into the seats. Castro continues his fine hitting. Homer here last night. He's 5 for 10 against the Nats. But a very unusual number against Tanner Roark will give you that when the at-bat's over.
Yeah, just thinking about something, and I could be wrong with this. When I watch batting practice every day, I see infielders take ground balls at their position, the everyday guys. I don't normally see him take ground balls out of position, where I don't see Anthony Rendon taking ground balls at shortstop ever. Or Trey Turner taking them at second. They just take them at their position. And you remember Ian Desmond used to always talk about it's a different angle off the bat when he was in the shifts, and he really didn't like the shifts.
Right.
And in their defense, it's hot. They're working their tails off at their position, and it would be a lot of work every day to take ground balls at short and second if you're Trey Turner, or third and short if you're Anthony Rendon. It's not easy.
1-2, and a big breaking ball. Good job by Castro of extending to get a piece of it.
Staying alive. Good curveball by Tanner. Sharp break.
Yeah, a lot of 6-12 right there. Castro has 105 hits, 4th most in the league. And then on a delayed trip to second, Justin Bohr into scoring position. Nobody ran over to cover. He'll get a steal for that.
Yeah, nobody moving up the middle. Shuffle, shuffle, go. Spencer's ready. But like you said, Carp, nobody went to cover.
One of the slower stolen bases we've ever seen. Marlins trying to make it pay off here now.
He could have been trying to draw a throw for a double steal there with good speed at third. Maybe it's just decided to let him go and get the hitter.
And with a big breaking ball, Tanner will get the hitter. Good time for strikeout number 1. Also rolled a double play. So the Presidents are here and the Nats bats are here. They're next. Out of that package, get the bat in his hands and take it from there.
He's dazed. You see that? He's just staring.
Well, a lot of guys are dazed on the other side after what Matt Adams, Mark Reynolds, and the Nats have done to this offense the last couple of days. So Matt against the Marlins now 8 for 20. He's 6 for 8 on this homestand. He has scored 4 runs, and his batting average is starting to flirt with 300. Murphy in there batting 7th. Reynolds at 3rd. This is Trevor Richards, 25-year-old rookie, and his time in the big league spanning 11 starts so far.
Yeah, good story. We'll get to it. Drafted out of independent baseball, undrafted out of college. So the Marlins saw him in independent league. See the numbers right next to you. I usually talk about the last start, but there's some numbers with Richards that need to be said quickly. When he's ahead in the count, opponents are hitting 175. When he's behind in the count, opponents are hitting 526. It's the biggest difference in all of baseball.
There's Adam Eaton. So all the Nats getting their first look at this rookie who's thrown 53 innings so far.
So when he's ahead, Carp, he gets to his changeup, which is a pretty good pitch. But when he's behind, his fastball is getting hit a lot. We'll keep an eye on that today.
Eaton 2 hits against the Red Sox, 2 against the Marlins. And that'll be about as easy as it gets for the first baseman on the first out.
Marlins defense today behind Trevor Richards, Dietrich, Maben, Anderson in the outfield, Riddle, Castro up the middle, Prado, Bohr at the corners, and JT Realmuto behind the plate. JT at short, JT behind the plate. They lead the league in JTs.
Here's TT, Trey Turner. 10 hits this week. He's 10 for his last 22. AT&T achieving more on Trey Turner. So his last 10 ball games batting over 400, lots of hits, almost 2 per game. And Trey, by the way, as you look at those stats, has 100 hits on the year. and that's in the top 6 in the National League.
All-Stars will be named tonight. Is Trey Turner an All-Star? I say yes.
And the ball foul tipped.
There's a changeup. Shortstop ranks. Does that make you an all-star when there's a lot of 1s and 2s by your name and your categories? I think so.
You would think so. And Trey couldn't stop. Ball diving down and in on him. 2 down, first strikeout. Juan Soto in the 3rd spot. Batted 2nd last night behind Turner and ahead of Rendon. On base 17 of his last 20 games. Started the game last night at 303, made it out his first time up, and the average got down to 301. Bunch of multi-hit games for him, RBI games, and a couple of multi-home run games. And you're thinking, well, maybe the league's finally going to get him under 300. Then he comes out and gets a couple of hits and starts today at 308.
That's a good change.
Ooh. Drury University is a small school in Springfield, Missouri, where Richards came out of. They have had a couple of big leaguers come out of that school, and a couple are pretty well known. 2-2. Roy Smalley, a lot of years with the Twins. And Bill Verdon, who back in the 50s and 60s was a great center fielder for the Cardinals and the Pirates, and later a big league manager. 3-2 pitch. On the off speed, Soto stays with it.
So, you know, you break onto the scene, you're getting hits all over. Scouts are watching from behind home plate. They're locking in on Juan Soto. You know, all the managers are asking, well, how do we get this guy out? So they're paying attention, and they're still feeling their way around it.
Oh, he's going to run down to first with his 29th walk. And that's against 32 strikeouts.
And what do I mean by feeling their way around it? You know, they'll see one series when he's drilling balls to left field and say, well, let's try to pound him in. Nobody's tried that yet. They try to pound him in, he turns on it. So we're seeing different approaches to Juan Soto, and teams are kind of guessing right now how to get him out. There still isn't a book on Juan Soto. We've seen the fastballs in recently, but he's handled that. So they're still feeling their way around on how to get Juan Soto out and where the holes are in his swing, and I just don't think there are any. He knows the strike zone too well.
Bryce had a 3-for-4 night last night. And it looked like he was kind of going minimum effort, just kind of smoothing the ball around the field. Pardon me, he was 3-for-3 with a walk. He scored 4 runs because he had that base on balls alongside the hit. And he comes out ripping there, no balls, 2 strikes. So Bryce was in the middle of a couple of rallies last night. On the homestand, he's 5-for-19 with a homer and 6 bases on balls, getting him up to 73. That ball is wicked in front of Real Muto. Not a whole lot he could do, and Soto easily to second.
So yesterday before the game, check this out. Joe Dillon, assistant hitting coach, Bryce Harper on the field hitting off the tee. You supply the power off the tee, and he just hit a homer to right. Do you know how hard it is to hit a home run off a tee? So working on staying through the ball, staying on plane, keeping the head still. And you have to keep your head still if you're going to hit a ball squarely off a tee. Good stuff.
Yeah, I love it. T-ball at the highest level. That's a foul tip and a strikeout. Bryce Harper, I heard two sounds. Didn't know if it was the ground in the mitt or the ball in the mitt. And Jim Reynolds says that Bryce Harper foul tipped that ball into a strikeout. Looked like a slight redirect by the bat.
Some seats available. Come over. Where else would you rather be? As you enjoy a Miller Lite today, look forward to the Hold True moment later in the ball game. I mean, yesterday it felt like fall. Today it's 82 degrees. You can't ask for better weather than this in July in D.C.
Yeah, there was a little almost October-like chill in the ballpark last night. This is fantastic. Martin Prado against the Nats this weekend, 1 for 7 with a home run. He's driven in 4, and he has good career numbers against Tanner, 10 for 23. Roark first inning, 22 pitches, 14 strikes. There's a typical Prado line drive.
All right, go back to the future on 80s night. That's presented by Budweiser. Saturday, July 21st, Nats Park. Do we have a hot tub time machine in the ballpark? I think that would be awesome. Enjoy the sights and sounds of all the 80s all night long. Leg warmers are going to be here. They're fantastic. So come to the ballpark. Visit nationals.com for tickets. 80s night.
JT Riddle. And a good heater by Tanner Roark to the outside edge. And he's going to go the other way. So the Marlins with some solid approaches on hits by Real Muto. And then in this inning, Prado and Riddle, 2 on, nobody out. Number 8 man, center fielder Cameron Maben. Three for 5 career against Roark. And in this series, 2 for 9. Pretty good stop by Keyboom to his right. Picked it cleanly out of the dirt. Tanner comes in 3-10, 4.60 ERA, 18th start.
So our guys working hard in the truck, Carp. Pitch counts date back to 1988. Since then, Roark is the only one to throw 7 innings, 9 earned runs, under 100 pitches. That's never been done before.
Wow. Another base hit by the Marlins. Prado will score easily. 3 consecutive singles and Miami's on top.
Yeah, look at the location right around the belt. And I thought that was an issue last time for Tanner. He thought he kept the ball down. I saw some pitches elevated. And he's trying to get one down right here. He had the double play with Brian Anderson. That was a good low pitch. But when Tanner Roark's locked in, he's downhill with everything, and it's knees and below with all of his pitches, not just his fastball.
So they present their pitcher with a perfect bunting situation. He's going to deaden it on the grass beautifully. I think initially Roark thought he might have a play at third, but that thing just hit and stopped. So Riddle to third, Maben to second on the first down. 1-4 scoring if you're writing it down on the sacrifice. Top of the order. And Derek Dietrich next, who leaned into that fastball first time up.
He got a base with the right-hander on deck. Pretty good hitters, both of them. You might want to go for the right matchup here with Brian Anderson. We'll see.
Some good tail on that 92 heater. 1-1. Nissan pitch cast.
Started a strike, ended a strike. Thought maybe it was going to run off the plate on the replay. It stayed in there.
Oh, that came real close to getting Brian Anderson. And he's checking to make sure everybody in the camera well is okay. Nice of you, Brian.
Yeah.
One ball, 2 strikes. A lot of pitches already. 22 in the first inning. Phillies are underway at Pittsburgh. They tied the Braves for first last night. Phillies have won 6 straight. Nats will be in Pittsburgh tomorrow night. 2-2, 1 out. Drew Anderson for Philadelphia. And then in a little while, the Braves will wrap up their 4-gamer at Milwaukee. Sean Newcomb and Junior Guerra throwing there. Phillies have played 2 fewer games. They're actually percentage points ahead of Atlanta. And the Nats, who've won 3 straight, back in the hunt. 2-2, 1 out. Full count. Not that they were out of the hunt, but you sure feel better about 5 games back than you do 7.
100%. This historically is where Tanner's thrown that front hip fastball to lefties in the 3-2 count. I haven't seen him do a whole lot of that this year.
On a pitch up and away, and Dietrich pops it straight back and just over the screen. Sun coming from right over the roof behind home plate, and it took Spencer Kieboom a second to find that ball.
Yeah, I was looking at the rustic curly W behind home plate the other day, and I figured it out. You know, they have to put All-Star logos everywhere, so they're kind of trying to let the grass grow over that right now. Paint up the field for the All-Star game.
Yeah.
But I like the rustic curly W back there. Or rusty, they both work. The rusty W.
Target up and in, and he's going to throw his elbow out there and get hit by another one. That looked every bit as intentional as the first. So he's been hit 14 times now, twice today.
I mean, that's coming back for a borderline strike. I mean, if Tanner didn't like it the first time, he had a chance right there to send a message with the base open. So,
and the umpire has discretion on that call. If he thinks a hitter is trying to create that intentionally and gets hit, he has the option of calling it the other way for a strike. But they don't. Nobody does it.
Angel Hernandez called me back once. I stuck my knee in the strike zone, got hit by a curveball. It was 3 steps to first. He said, "No, get back here." And he was right. It was just almost a strike. But I did it. I should say I got away with it way more times than I didn't.
Yeah. Did you hit the next pitch out of the park?
No, I can't remember.
Okay. Here's Brian Anderson.
But I leaned into a Kevin Brown sinker one day, and the next time up, he put one right in the middle of my back. And then we became teammates. And he told me on the plane the first week, he said, if you wanted to get hit that bad, I was just going to oblige next time. You want to lean into one. I figured this guy wants to get hit. So he drilled me on purpose with 96. And then admitted to it the next year.
So JT Riddle singled after Prado did. Maben drove in Prado with his base hit, and then Dietrich hit by a pitch. And Anderson will pop it up to the right side. Daniel Murphy scrambling onto the outfield grass, and he and Matt Adams looked at each other. Infield fly rule had been called by John Tumpane, so the batter was going to be out no matter what happened. And then Adams alertly threw home just in case Riddle got an idea at third.
This got gnarly in a hurry. They're looking at each other. You got it, I'll take it. And Matt Adams with a diving catch there at the end. I don't know if Murphy saw it, but what a play by Matt Adams. Great shot there, too, in the Exmo.
Well, we get asked all the time, what is the infield fly rule and what does it mean? Well, it had been called right there by John Tumpane. He threw his right arm straight up in the air. Even if Adams had missed that ball, the batter would have been out. And they enforced that rule so that guys on the infield don't intentionally drop pop-ups and then turn double plays on runners who are in no man's land. As it turned out, heck of a catch by Matt. Ball 1 to Real Muto. Took a base hit to right first time up. He's going to do the same thing here. Riddle is home. Maben coming in. Eaton's throw cut off. 3-0 Miami. 4 singles around to sacrifice and a hit batter.
Yeah, base hit to right, as Carp said first time, and a belt tie fastball right there, and he's just going the other way. Inside out swing, low line drive to right. And he is some kind of player.
Justin Bour He reached on the tough call throwing error by Matt Reynolds last time. With 2 runners aboard, Reynolds still sort of alone on the left side, but Trey Turner is up the middle. They were in a shift when that ground ball happened last inning. 6 hits by Miami. It's now a 25 pitch second inning. And the curve stays away. 3-1. Way up and in, bases loaded. First walk, Derek Lilliquist to the mound, and Castro will be the 9th Miami batter here in the second.
Yeah, this is give him a break right here, ask him what he wants to do. 9th batter coming up, so a long inning. And he has to know that his offense has been scoring runs, and if he keeps it 3-0 here, he's got a chance.
Castro struck out swinging first time. You might remember Tanner really spun a wicked curveball at him.
And the difference in years past, when you're in first place by 8 games or whatever, and you've taken the first 3 games of a series, you know, it's not do or die that you sweep. You know, come out, play as hard as you can for game 4. If you sweep, great. But when you're playing makeup ball and catch-up ball like the Nats are right now, the fact that you won the first 3 games of the series is great, but you have to go pedal to the metal every single game. It's afforded you no days off, in a sense.
Yeah. On the inside edge. 0-2. Oh, by the way, Starlin Castro will hold the matchup number until the end of this at bat. Forgot to give it to you when he struck out last inning. So let's see what Tanner can do against him here. Fastball up, 1-2.
Trying to get him chase up with the fastball. Fans trying to help Tanner here.
And Starlin Castro is now 0 for 15 career against Tanner Roar. Here comes Mr. RBI himself, Mark Reynolds, to lead off.
I like how he just kind of stands there after he hits it and watches it for just a split second. He's a pro home run hitter. Watch. I'll show you his second home run here in a second. Only the 15th player, watch how he just kind of drops the bat and goes. The 15th player ever in Major League history to record 10 RBIs in a game. 5 for 5, 10 RBIs. Go PNC inside the numbers. Check out this list. 5 hits plus 10 RBI in a single game since 1920.
Amazing.
It's a good list.
Yeah, great hitters on that list. Scooter Gennett had a 4 home run game last year. The Robins, by the way, those were the Brooklyn Robins back in '24.
I like that he walked off the Marlins on one pitch, and then the first pitch he saw the next night, he goes deep. So back-to-back pitches.
Yeah. On the homestand, he's 8 for 12 with 12 RBIs, 2 walks, 3 home runs.
There's people in softball leagues that don't have those numbers.
1-1. Yeah, so Mark gets him in bunches 3 times. 2 home runs this year. Batting average up to .292. When this series started, his batting average was .269.
Richards' changeup is filthy.
Mercedes-Benz pitch cast.
Same arm angle, same window, same arm speed as the fastball, and just doesn't get there.
That's at least the second or third kind of check swing we've seen. He had one on Harper. Bryce tipped the ball into a strikeout. And I think before that, Trey Turner had a check swing on his off speed. The Nats are up to 7th in the league in batting average and in runs. They were like 12th and 10th in those categories earlier this week. 3-2 pitch. And Mark able to get a piece of it. Numbers keep on coming on these guys. So 8 RBI games by teammates in the same season. How about the same week or the same series? The great Willie Mays and Cha-Cha, Orlando Cepeda did it. Smokey Burgess, a catcher, and Gus Bell for the Reds in '55.
Same week, same series has never been done before. That's a first with these two.
Same reporter. Here's Dan.
Bob, we've learned from Mark Reynolds in his couple months with the Nationals that he's pretty self-deprecating. When he got off to that fantastic start, I believe it was that big series in Arizona, reporters kept talking to him, and he said, all right, there's going to be a stretch here where I'm going to go through a couple weeks, strike out a ton, and not get a hit for seemingly forever. And then he kind of did. And then last night he spoke to reporters after his big game and said, well, this game probably kept me on the roster for another couple weeks.
First pitch swinging. Matt Adams to right. It's going to fall in front of Brian Anderson. Big power guy takes that big swing. And the Nationals have their first knock to aboard, nobody out.
Well, you hit the ball all over the place the other night. You take a big swing like that, it'll freeze an outfielder. He's thinking Brian Anderson. That's Matt Adams. He hits the ball far, so when he saw that, he just kind of stood there for a second. Is that in? Is it back? I don't know. Let it drop. Good read by Mark Reynolds getting to second base. So there goes the no-hitter. Matt Adams' first knock of the day.
Yeah, the last couple of games, once the Nats take care of that, they seem to come in bunches. Here's Murphy. Three hits on the homestand, a homer, 2 RBIs, and a walk.
Kind of weird filling out your lineup card today and having Murph all the way down at 7. But I think, you know, Davey Martinez is just trying to get him back in the flow and maybe off his feet as much as possible.
Yeah, some of the other guys are keeping the pressure off so that Murphy and Eaton can continue their roads back. Adam looking great. Murphy's hit in 8 of his last 12 games. And he still only has 69 at bats this year. 22nd game of action. He's going to turn on one. That'll get the Nats on the board. Reynolds home. Adams beyond second. Then he goes back. And just like that, it's a 3-1 game on Murphy's 9th RBI.
Well, give Tanner Roark credit getting on the bases loaded jam with a strikeout of Castro, knowing that his offense, did we have Seeds come out of the pocket again? His offense would pick him up today. They've been swinging it. I think we had Seeds come out of the back pocket again on the RBI Murph single. It's slowly becoming my favorite part of the Daniel Murphy at bat. We had the Phil Mickelson finish before, but now he's swinging and the Seeds just flowing like a slot machine out of his back pocket. He hit a jackpot.
Here's Spencer Kieboom. Nobody out, and he's going to drop one to right. Base hits all over the place, and they're loaded for Tanner Roark.
Same Seeds.
You talk about moving the line the last several days. Roark has 4 RBIs this year, half of his career total. And just like that, Trevor Richards walks Reynolds and gives up 3 knocks in a row.
Tanner has a chance to help himself out, obviously. You know, I watched Matt Adams on the Murphy single because it moved Brian Anderson toward the line. I was wondering if he was going to go to third. He stopped, and for a second I thought he should have went. And then I saw Anderson's throw, and he would have been out. So a good read by Adams and Bob Henley.
In at the corners in case Roark bunts. And with Bohr on the grass and Prado creeping in from the left side, no sign of squaring right there.
Oh, with Matt Adams on third, I don't think the bunt's in play here.
And that'll even things up. Nobody out, 1-2 pitch. And Tanner will battle to stay alive. This year he's 5 for 31.
This is where if you're Dave Martinez, you almost you want either a fly ball, a base hit, or a strikeout. I mean, the strikeout's not the worst thing in the world here with nobody out.
So that's out number 1.
It's all right. You don't want a ground ball double play in that situation and have it 3-2 with 2 outs. Now you got 1 out, bases loaded. Here come the big boys. That's not the worst thing in the world. Nats and James Madison have teamed up for JMU Day at the ballpark, Saturday, July 21st. You get that cap to your left. That looks nifty. Co-branded New Nationals New Era cap. Braves are in town, so we need you in the ballpark, and we need you real loud. Visit nationals.com for details.
3-game series with Atlanta right out of the All-Star break, and then the Nats go out on the road again. Adam Eaton ground ball to first to lead off in the first, and ball 1. So here we go, second time around the order. First time through, the Nats went 3 for 7 with 2 walks. Eaton will pop it up. Riddle. 2 down.
So Thursday, Trey Turner had a couple of homers. Remember, 9-0 right here. You got him on the board. 9-1, and here they come. Then I think it was 9-6, and he did that, a grand slam to make it 10-9. Dugout went crazy, ballpark went crazy. So 2 homers for Trey. Fired up on the curtain call. I think cemented his stop here during the break to play on the All-Star team. We'll see.
And we all knew a teammate 2 days later would get more RBIs than that in the game, didn't we?
Saw that coming. Good.
So here he is. Looking for his 11th hit of this 7-game homestand. And that's in there, 1-1.
Just think as a hitter, when you have success with runners out there, it becomes a more relaxing at bat when you've done it recently.
That's a nasty pitch. Right to the outside edge. Now Trey's 1-2 battle begins. Turner really on top of the plate here. See him choked up just a bit. And on a pitch off the plate inside, that's it. The Nats will get 1 run. They'll strand 3, and the Murphy RBI hit gets Washington on the board.
Welcome back to Nats Park. Nats fans, now's your chance to bring the noise when the Braves come to town Friday night after the All-Star break. The purchase of the K Street special ticket, you get a discounted lower level seat in the K Street cheering section, and you receive a free t-shirt. Visit nationals.com today.
Top of the third, lots of work for both starters so far. Nats has got Richards up to 40 pitches. Tanner is at 55. And he'll face Martin Prado, who led off last inning with a base hit the other way. So Prado just back off the DL. 20 hits and 101 at bats, including that single. Pulled his hamstring, trying to beat out an infield grounder against the Nationals back on May 25th. He's a hit machine when he's going well. Didn't start the game last night, had a night off. He's 2 for 2 today. Next up, the shortstop, JT Riddle. Called up to the big leagues last year. He started his major league career 2 for 21. Then he got hot, hit 250 over a 70-game period and was out for the season late July when he had left biceps tendonitis. He's going to bounce one to Turner. Long way for Murphy to come and no chance for a relay. Daniel was playing to pull on the other side of the bag.
Yeah, Riddle can run. It wouldn't hit hard enough to turn a double play.
Cameron Maybin with 1 out. His RBI hit got the Marlins on the board last inning. Couple of good-looking fastballs from Tanner Roark here in the third. Started his swing. John Tumpain says he stopped.
I like the good low target that Spencer Keyboom's giving right now. He's presenting the glove down low, flipping it wide open so he can see the whole glove. Really trying to get Tanner Roark to focus his sights low right here to get the ground ball. Look how look at that. He's showing you the whole glove though. You know, some catchers just put the glove down there horizontal, Carp, and you don't see the whole glove. But Spencer's getting down there, turning the glove over so you can see the whole glove. Watch, it's right here. That's where I want it, right there. So that's your last visual, and look at it, he put it right there. I like that.
Yeah, very good look at it on the Nissan PitchCast.
Show me that whole glove. I want a big target.
One and two. Keyboom moves off the plate in.
That's where he wanted it.
Adam Eaton going over to have a look, but it's out of play.
See if Don Mattingly starts the runner.
Pitcher next. Three-two. Runner is on the move. Ball four. 2 on, 1 out. Second walk by Roark. And then Trevor Richards.
Well, Spencer Keyboom threw that because he thought it was a strike, and you can't wait around for the call. So where was this pitch? Close.
Yeah, could have been. Well, last time Richard was up there with 2 on, nobody out. This time 2 on, 1 out. Reynolds and Adams ready to charge. Rookie has 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and looking for a second sacrifice. He'll get it. Roark to Murphy for the second time. Runners move up for Derek Dietrich. All elbows today and 2 down. MLB At Bat, your #1 Nationals app. Customize your baseball experience. You can get Nationals home screen icons, MLB.TV game of the day, pitch tracking and game highlights, stats, and more. Download MLB At Bat today.
Base open, right-hander on deck. Same scenario as the second inning.
So Derek Dietrich's now been hit this year by 14 pitches. Roark has hit 9 batters because of the 2 today.
So first time up, if you missed it. Nicked him, almost a strike. That's the first time, same one. Second time up, 3-2 pitch. A little more of the guard. Third time up. They're pitching around him. You could just saved your pitch count and done it with the first pitch again.
3-0. At the knees with a good heater.
Having trouble settling here. Might be looking for a change up.
Came around to get the outside edge, strike 2.
Yeah, maybe Spencer was thinking changeup and Tanner was thinking curve, so he was committed to that pitch. Good frame by Kieboom to get the call.
And Dietrich will pop it up left side. Mark Reynolds. And into the camera bay.
Camera bay or camera well?
Yes.
I like bay. I think that's a better description. Camera inlet.
Camera pit. 3-2. That's what they call it at PNC Park. We'll be there tomorrow. And a breaking ball.
Into the camera well.
You know, speaking of baseball terminology, I always chuckle when I look at the league stat sheet. You know, hit batters. They're called officially hit batsmen.
Yes.
It's the only time you ever hear. I mean, who's the leading batsman in the league? You never say that. But when you get hit, you become a batsman.
It sounds like he should be on a yacht.
Yeah. Bases loaded. That was close to the elbow, but that's a clean ball 4 right there.
Close to the back knee. Almost got hit for the 3rd consecutive time.
Third walk by Roark.
Watch. This is close. Oh,
How to miss. Derek Dietrich's on base percentage is skyrocketing today. Roark's gotten this talented rookie twice. Anderson 6-4-3 double play ball in the first, and then that pop up with the bases loaded caught by Adams in the second.
yeah, pitch number 79 though. That's way too high.
Fair ball hugging the ground. Reynolds to the bag, and he got there. 5 unassisted on the force for Mark Reynolds. He's putting on some kind of show this weekend.
Nifty footwork here. Got in front of it. Scramble for the bag. Nice play. amazing.
Nets have 104. Nice crowd, beautiful day. Nationals are averaging 31,805 a game. That's just a couple hundred behind Atlanta to get into the top 7 in average attendance. Folks are coming out. Been a big week at home at the Turnstiles with the Red Sox here. Now a very entertaining 4-game series with the Marlins. Soto, Harper, Reynolds, bottom of the 3rd. Juan walked first time up.
So when the truck does that Lexus read, they're calling their shot basically here. That's if you watch enough, you know. When you see the home run thing, unless they hit one the time before, that's their way of calling it. So we'll see if they're right. Change up.
And by the way, if you're calling your shot, Juan Soto would probably put his right arm up toward left center, not to right field. Although if you try to get him inside, he can turn and burn. This target is away on 2-1, and it misses over the plate low.
So disciplined. It's the Billy Bean's dream player right here. That's a lot of guys' dream player.
You're right too. Mercedes-Benz on this one. Good pitch.
I get a change up here.
I mean, not that far off the plate, and down to first base he goes without a blink. His 30th walk now. Been on base 18 of his last 21 games. Leadoff man on, 3rd inning. 3 walks by Richards.
Just will not deviate from the game plan. He's looking for one pitch in one zone, and if it ain't there, he ain't swinging.
He got Bryce first time in a check swing that was a foul tip. High in the air, left center. Maben and Dietrich. Center fielder makes the call. Left fielder makes the catch. Then a strong throw in toward the bag. 1 out.
Pretty good swing. Had the sound. Just got under it a tad.
Yeah, they tried to jam Bryce with that 0-1 pitch.
Yeah, he's frustrated. He knew he got the pitch he was looking for, and he put a good swing on it. Barreled to baseball. Just got underneath it a hair. He was thinking maybe when he made contact.
It's funny because the flags out in left field atop the seats are not moving hardly at all. The ones on top of the scoreboard right center blowing slightly in from right. And I don't think anything's going to stop that 1-iron from Mark Reynolds. Soto heading for 3rd. They got it back in a hurry. Nobody covering 2nd. So Mark Reynolds continues to terrorize Miami pitching.
You remember a couple nights ago when he pinch hit, he got a fastball up around the tower. Then on the walk-off, he got a fastball up around the tower from Kyle Bearclaw. And I joked saying that the Marlins hate Mark Reynolds. Well, guess what? The Marlins really hate Mark Reynolds now. And he was stopping at first there, Carp. He took a turn, slowed down, and he looked, and there was nobody covering 2nd. Dietrich played that well. He was about to stop at first base, but there was no Marlin around 2nd, so it was an easy decision for him. He just cruised into 2nd.
Here's Adams, who singled to right first time, and just like that, the tying runs at 2nd.
Somebody's got to peel back and cover 2nd right there. You keep the double play in order, you got out of the inning. Now you got 2nd, 3rd. You know, usually the shortstop goes out on that, Carp, and if you think it's a sure double as a 2nd baseman, you peel back to 2nd once you see the fielder. pick it up quick. Castro's got to get back to the bag there.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a no-doubter in the gap. 1 ball, 1 strike.
So watch Castro. You see him at the bottom of the screen jogging out there. I don't know why he's going out there right now to line up. He should be back at second. And look, nobody's there, and Reynolds still not in the picture.
Huh.
Former shortstop, maybe? I don't know.
That'll be strike 2. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. Most RBI by first baseman. So Ryan Zimmerman, he's part of that. He has 16. Adams has 36. Mark Reynolds has gone crazy lately. He now has 24. So turning into the productive position that every manager wants first base to be. The power and the RBIs.
Yeah, but you thought it would be 1 guy. It's been about 3.
Yeah, how about that? Fastball up and in. Yeah, conventional wisdom in baseball, you want power from first base, third base, and at least 1, hopefully 2 of your outfield positions. And Matt IDing the off speed, just let it skip into the dirt.
Check this out, too. I like this one. He got 36 and 108 from Ryan last year, but look at the combined this year. Yeah, those 2 guys. And Ryan. And Murph.
Adams pulls it foul. And I don't know if you folks noticed it on the video we showed earlier, some of Mark Reynolds' heroics last night. I thought it was great that some of the leading cheers in the dugout were from Ryan Zimmerman, the man who he's basically replacing. Longtime friends, of course, from the Hampton Roads area down there. Virginia Beach, Norfolk. Known each other a long time. Fellow Cavaliers. And Ryan right at the top step leading the cheers. Adams stays alive.
Getting these situations, a hitter, you like, stay on the fastball, stay on the heater. I know he's got a good changeup, but he's not getting the heater by me. And then you get those swings where, you know, you just follow him off to stay in there another pitch.
Richard started this frame at 40 pitches. He's at 56 with 1 out. Great at bat, bases loaded. Second walk of the inning. And Murphy is next. You talk about this all the time, FP.
Yeah.
Trusting the guy behind you, right?
Yeah, exactly. You just read my mind. I was about to say it. You know, when you're going well as an offense and you're feeling good about yourself and the guy behind you, you don't expand the zone right there. And that's a great at-bat by Matt Adams and a perfect example of a team that's swinging it all of a sudden. Matt Adams didn't try too hard right there because he knew someone's going to pick him up. At least that's what he's thinking.
Soto walked. Reynolds doubled. Adams walked. Murphy RBI single early in the count. First time up. The Nats' only run of the day so far. Grace is up and throwing with Tanner Roark at 79 pitches in 3 innings. So if this inning goes down to the number 9 spot, might the Nats hit for Roark?
You know, I'm really liking what Davey Martinez has done in this series, striking while the iron's hot. He feels the momentum changing, and lately he's putting his chips in the middle of the table. It's pinch hitting for this guy. Sorry, I'm pinch hitting for you. He knows the crucial times now, and he's forcing the issue during those times. I love it.
Yeah. Murphy started the bat. Looked like he checked again, and he did. Ball 2.
You know, recognizing that those situations may not come around again, and this is the time when we have to strike.
Well, and That's 2 batters away, so if it gets down to that number 9 spot, that means the Nats are having a pretty big inning. Bases loaded, 1 out. And Murphy to left. Dietrich there. He had to circle back. He's going to launch one anyway. Had no chance, and it's 3-2. Daniel Murphy, 2 RBIs today in his 10th of the year.
Pro at bat right there, folks. He's all about the air ball, getting it up in the air. He took some tough changeups from Trevor Richards, got a good pitch and hit it far enough to make it a 1-run game. Nice at bat by Daniel Murphy.
Yeah, that's Murph. Right field for 1 RBI, left field for the next. And here's Spencer Kieboom, who singled to right his first time. So Tanner does come out on deck. We'll see if that changes if Kieboom continues the inning. He's going to pop it up on the first pitch. Bohr fighting the sun with his bare hand. He never saw it. And then Richards couldn't get there. Justin Bohr, looking right into the sun, was a good 15-20 feet from where that ball landed. And the pitcher tried to bail him out.
No, we saw Murph and Matt Adams have trouble with something this way, and then Justin Bohr has none clue where that ball is. And Trevor Richards went full-blown Doug Fister, and he couldn't get it.
Yes, he did. So Kieboom gets a break.
I miss Doug Fister. He was a good Nat. He gave us a lot of thrills.
Yeah, baby. Way inside, and that one didn't miss Kieboom by much.
He was game on, man. He took every bit of his 90 miles an hour and came right at you with it. He competed, man. I liked him a lot. He's a gamer. If it was 90.
Spencer Kieboom with a good take to get the count in his favor. Our crew hasn't been able to spot anybody in the dugout with a batting helmet on. Three and one.
Sometimes a manager will get somebody up in the bullpen just to protect the 8-hole hitter that gets some pitches to hit.
Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah.
Meaning Don Mattingly's looking and said, well, somebody's up down there. They're going to pinch hit.
Matt Grace has vacated the bullpen mound for now. Three and one to Kieboom. He got a fastball, and there it goes to left, and it's caught by Dietrich, who slams into the wall. Right in front of his teammates in the Miami bullpen, and Spencer Kieboom hit the daylights out of it. Dietrich's up. It's our DynCorp International Troop Recognition. We serve today for a better tomorrow.
Well, you know what they'd be saying, or probably were saying, on that play right there. You want me on that wall, you need me on that wall. I mean, what a play by Derek Dietrich. He's been hit by 2 pitches today, and then he gets hit by the fence. Full speed, takes a couple of RBI and extra bases away from Spencer Keyboom, but more importantly, keeps the lead for his ball club. Crashing into the wall, hanging on the ball.
Wow.
Chains intact.
Spencer Keyboom had some backspin on that ball, stayed in the air for a while.
If it was a 5-game series, they would tape a line around them for batting practice tomorrow out there.
Top of the 4th, Tanner Roark's 80th pitch. JT Realmuto has solved him twice with opposite field singles, the second one for an RBI. So Tanner Roark, 4th inning of work. Due to lead off bottom of the inning. Facing 3-4-5 here. To the right side for the 3rd time, but Murphy picks it off, and Realmuto, needless to say, running well for a catcher, beats it out for an infield hit.
See, but that's the difference in 100% Murph and not 100% Murph. He went in a straight line for that. He bent over and got it, which was a nice job, but then getting up and righting himself to make the throw. Watch this part right here, trying to get up and make the throw and get his feet underneath him took a little longer than you're used to seeing. So good range to his left, but then right here getting up to make the play and getting his legs underneath him. Normally he throws off the wrong foot there as soon as he catches it. I don't think he can do that yet.
Justin Bohr is next. He's reached on an error and a walk.
So I'm reading Ken Rosenthal right now. The Dodgers and the Brewers most serious for Manny Machado.
Yeah, all kind of talk going around the press box this morning that something could happen today.
Indians also in the mix. I vote for the American League personally.
Keep him over there, huh?
Keep him over there. So I hope the Indians get him. He might hit 400 home runs in a season if he plays in Milwaukee, in that place.
Justin Bohr, by the way, his 2nd career stolen base back in the 1st. So the Nats overload the right side of the infield. Bohr's a fly ball hitter, but he has hit into 8 double plays. Way upstairs, 2-2. Yeah, I guess the question is, how expensive do you want to pay for Manny Machado for a 2-month rental and then take a, because you know he's going to take a shot on the free agent market.
Well, if the Dodgers get him, they'll sign him. I don't know if the Brewers can.
Yeah, that's the big question. Mid-market, large market. So clubs like Milwaukee have to be careful with deals like that. Yeah, the Milwaukee Brewers with the best record in the National League, 53-36. 3 more wins than Arizona and Atlanta. 2-2 pitch. Right in there with a fastball. Bohr didn't like it. Tanner Roark, 3rd strikeout today.
Whenever everybody asks me about Tanner Roark, the first thing I say, you know, when the national media does the games, is front hip fastball to lefties. If he's got that going on, look out. It's his bread and butter pitch, and that was a perfect example of it right there. Bohr still doesn't think it's a strike, but it came back.
Yeah, he'll have a look at the video and see that it was. Tanner has struck out Castro swinging twice, and those have been huge strikeouts because those 2 Ks have stranded 5 Miami runners. So 7 on the ground so far 3 well-timed strikeouts. There goes the runner, and right behind him, a perfect base hit by Castro the other way. His first career hit against Tanner Roark in 16 at-bats. First and third, 1 out.
Well, you like the call by Don Mattingly. If in fact this is a hit and run, it looked like it was based on Castro going out of the zone for this pitch. Although when you look at Real Muto run to second, he didn't look back, so maybe it was just a straight steal, and Castro said, I'm not getting to 2 strikes again.
Miami has 9 hits, every one of them a single. Prado is 2 for 2. He's taken Tanner to right and pulled him to left.
So he's thinking about that swing Castro just did. He wants to do the same thing.
One, healthy Hack.
So talking to Adam Eaton before the game, he gets a lot of jerseys signed by opposing players. He said that Martin Prado was his favorite teammate ever. They played together in Arizona for a few years. Got his jersey. He gets a bunch signed by opponents, has them all over his house. I know a lot of fans probably don't realize that players collect stuff from other players. Jerseys, bats, balls, you know, for your man cave in your house when you're hanging stuff up. This was before the series a couple nights ago. 2 former teammates. And that's high praise from a guy that's played with a lot of cool teammates to say that's his favorite teammate ever.
Yeah. I could see those guys hitting 1-2 in just about any lineup in baseball. Strike call. 2-2. Martin Prado hit 282 and 270 his 2 years with the D-backs, 13 and 14. Made 1 All-Star team back in 10 with the Braves when he hit 307.
Professional hitter.
Yeah. He's nearing 1,500 career hits. Three and 2. So Matt Grace up again. Left-handed hitting, JT Riddle on deck. Got him looking. Perfect slider to the outside edge, 2 down.
Tough guy to strike out, especially in this situation. He needed one big time, and some paint on a cutter, it looks like, from Tanner Roark. And Prado knew it. He didn't argue a bit. He just said, I should have swung at that. Great pitch by Tanner Roark. Big strikeout to get the second out here in the 4th.
No, he retires Prado, faces the lefty here. Riddle, a base hit to left and a bouncing ball to short. So Tanner's at 95 pitches with 1 out to get here in the 4th. Matt's up for the second time this inning. And this is danger down the line. It's going to drop in front of Adam Eaton. Rio Muto scores. Over to third Castro. And the Marlins now lead 4-2. Tanner's now given up 20 hits in his last 2 starts. Righty-righty matchup with Cameron Maybin, the number 8 hitter. He's 1 for 2, or rather 1 for 1. RBI single and a walk. Strike call, 1-1.
He wants him to get out of this inning because he's leading off the next inning. He could double switch if he wanted to, but it would have to be with Spencer Keyboom, who made the last out. Yeah, but I'm looking at his hard hit percentage over the years. In 2016, only 24% of batters hit the ball hard off Tanner Roark. That's based on exit velocity. And this year it's up to 31%. You remember, I mean, he was 0-2 to everybody. It was hard to square him up. He'd throw the front hip sinker consistently and paralyze hitters. And this year just hasn't been his year. I mean, this is a guy that's won 29 games the last 2 years. So that's nothing to scoff at. 16-10, 13-11. And he's still trying to figure it out in 2018. He was great after the All-Star break last year.
You're right, often has been a really good second half pitcher. And some losses early chalked up to lack of run support. He's had losses this year when the Nats have scored 1, 2, 1, 4, 1 run. That ball's got some spin on it, but it doesn't come back fair. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Cameron Maybin. Target away from Keyboom. Runner at first goes, swing and a miss. Tanner, all of his outs in the 4th via the strikeout. The 4th inning of Nationals baseball brought to you by the all-wheel drive RAV4. Toyota, what drives you? Visit buyatoyota.com for great deals. And then drive one to the All-Star game. 10% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com, see how much you can save. Tall Tom Jefferson roaring down the stretch. That'll be his 14th to tie Abe for second behind George, who has 15. So it's a 4-2 ball game for 10-0 Marlins, 2-4-1 Nats. As we go bottom four, and Michael A. Taylor is going to hit for Tanner Roark. Michael A. on the homestand, 5 for 16, couple of walks.
Man, Trevor Richards, Carp, was not drafted out of college from Drury University. Already talked about Division II school, and then he went and played independent baseball.
Good for him. It's awesome.
And for those of you that don't know, independent baseball is just minor leagues. There's a league called the Frontier League. They don't have any affiliation to major league teams. You're basically just playing for a chance to play and hoping a scout sees you. He played for the Gateway Grizzlies in the Independent Frontier League. And he used to work as a substitute teacher in the off season. He's the guy that got the paper airplanes thrown at him when he had his back to the class.
Well,
I mean,
he's throwing harder than they did.
You remember substitute teachers? That was like
that
the
was
best.
The best. Yeah, I went to an all-boys high school.
Can
you imagine substitute?
You could do anything with a substitute teacher, and they could leave a note for the other teacher, and you'd be saying, "I don't know what he's talking about. That wasn't me."
Yeah, the Gateway Grizzlies are right across the river from the St. Louis Arch. So Michael A. Taylor is aboard. Adam Eaton is coming up, and Dan has more.
Bob, some leadoff hitters say they don't approach their at-bats any differently when they're in the leadoff spot as compared to lower in the order, but Adam Eaton's the exact opposite. He told me there isn't as much freedom when you hit leadoff. Your goal in that spot to see as many pitches as possible, grind out ABs, and get on base. Hitting down lower in the order, he said you can swing more freely, try and plug a gap. If there's 2 outs, maybe swing first pitch, try and hit a homer, swing as hard as you want. He freely admits he doesn't love hitting in that top spot, guys, but he's pretty darn good at it. He's done a nice job over the course of his career there.
Yeah, leading off's a mindset more than anything, I think. Everyone says, well, you only lead off one time a game, but it's kind of an attitude you have as a leadoff hitter that you're going to be a pest and you're going to score runs.
Strike call. Adam Eaton grounded to first, pop up to short, and 2-1.
Yeah, I was talking to Adam around the cage the other day, and it's the left knee and the left ankle, and the challenge for him is staying on that and kind of riding that backside and not falling off it toward the pitcher where your head's moving a lot. You just don't realize how much you use your legs in hitting until you have some sort of lower half injury. You don't. As a player, you're thinking, it's all where are my hands, the bat feels light today, but then when you have something going with your knees or your ankles and you have to sit on them and use them, it's shocking. Daniel Murphy, on the other hand, hitting against his front side with his right knee. So 2 different knees, 2 different approaches with these guys.
Two and 2 to Adam Eaton. Nats trying to build another inning here, down by a couple. So Tanner Roark done after 102 pitches in 4 innings, but kind of like Gio the other night, he battled his way through that final inning, got a couple of Ks to keep the ball game within reach, and hoping his teammates do what they did for Gonzalez the other night. So that helps. 2 walks to lead off the 4th, and young Trevor Richards now has walked 6 Nationals today. Asking for trouble the way this offense is going, and on his way to the mound, pitching coach Juan Nieves. Trey Turner next. In Pittsburgh, Nick Williams hit a homer to tie the game for the Phillies in the 4th, 1-1. But then the Pirates came up with 3 in the bottom of the inning, so they're 4-1 ahead there. And the Brewers have a run in the bottom of the 3rd against the Braves in Milwaukee. Looking at the schedule, looks like the Braves are off tomorrow. Phillies will play a doubleheader at the Mets, while the Nats go to PNC Park to play the Pirates.
Trey likes to swing early in these situations. We'll see if he's getting a first pitch either. Did he hit JT Realmuto's mask on the backswing? I thought I heard a second sound there.
I have to plead guilty for hardly ever watching long enough to see that.
Oh, yeah.
But it happens frequently, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you have to be ready to follow the ball.
0-1. Michael A. really came dancing off second there. Pitch was way inside 1-1. Don't forget about Taylor. He'll swipe third if they don't pay attention to him. 23 steals on the year. Tied with Inciarte for number 1, and Trey Turner's number 3 with 22. So Castro keeps him close this time. Trey showed bunt. That got a bunch of guys moving around. Ball 2. Right-hander Drew Rucinski. They have 10 hits, but the Nats have 4 hits and 6 walks.
Good take. That's a hard take. He's looking for something up the drive, and it was right above the top of the strike zone.
The 3-1 pitch. That'll be over the dugout.
Might have been ball 4, but we've seen him get on top of that pitch and backspin one out of a ballpark before.
Center fielder may have been a bit toward the right center gap, and Dietrich way off the line and left. Swing and a foul tip and a strikeout. And Richards has redeemed himself from some of those walks by striking out Trey Turner 3 times. Fifth of the game. And now Juan Soto with 1 out. So he struck out Turner every time, and he's walked Soto every time.
Been showing him in early and then behind in the count throwing changeup. See if they do it here.
Michael A. Taylor led off the inning, hitting .410 a Roark and drew a walk. Adam Eaton did. That's down by 2 here in the 4th. Long ball game so far and still quite early. This kid will make you throw strikes.
2-0 change. He wasn't looking for that, so he took it. Recognizes things so early.
He has 32 strikeouts this year and 30 walks. Reaches around and pulls that one. Bohr, a pretty good stop. And Richards beats Soto to the bag. It moves both runners ahead. And we'll see if they pitch to Bryce Harper here.
Well, he's got some protection on deck. The hottest hitter on the planet, Mark Reynolds. So a 2-0 changeup, a 2-1 changeup. Nice play by Justin Bohr. And what does Don Mattingly do here?
Yeah, they're chatting about it over there, but for now, Bryce is in the box.
I mean,
they walked him once last night before he got anywhere near the batter's box, and then that opened up a whole big rally when Reynolds did his thing.
they're walking him.
Took a while, didn't it?
Well, they were talking about it. He's flipping coins. And I know Don Mattingly. He's saying the guy on deck is hot, but he's due to make an out. I mean, he has to, right? I don't know.
Yeah, we always say hitters are due. Managers thinking he's due to make an out.
He's 7 for his last 7. Don Mattingly's playing the percentages here. I don't know. We'll see. JT Realmuto is saying, I don't know why we're doing this, but we're doing it. Bryce just missed a homer last time up, too, so that probably had something to do with it.
Well, if Harper hits one out of the ballpark, a lot of questions to answer. And maybe he wants a fresh arm for Mark Reynolds. He does. So one starter, Roark, goes 4. The other, Trevor Richards, goes 3 2/3. Choose a winning team for your vehicle. Jiffy Lube, for value and convenience. JiffyLubeDC.com.
On recently and trying to get their swings back. Daniel Murphy's front knee right here. It's Adam Eaton's back knee right there. So Daniel Murphy right now is trying to hit against a firm front side. So you try to firm that up when you swing. So he strides, it's his right knee, and you want something to hit against. So that's his challenge. Right there, he's done a nice job of hitting against that front side that you can't see because of the Fios. And then Adam Eaton, on the other hand, is trying to stay on the back leg and kind of ride the back leg through the swing because it's his left knee and not drift, so his head moves forward with the pitch. So the two guys have two different knees, are trying to do two different things. Murph's trying to firm up the front side, hit against something. Adam Eaton's trying to stay on the back side with that back knee and ride the back leg and hit off the back side. So two different lefties with two different knees trying to figure it out right now. I think both doing a good job. They're getting better every day.
Nice job, guys. 100% fiber optic network means more speed for more devices at once. Visit getfios.com. And Drew Rosinski gets to visit with Mark Reynolds. First time they match up. Rosinski faced one batter Thursday night, got Anthony Rendon on a fly ball. So Mark, a walk, a run, and a double today. The Nats down by 2 here in the 4th. Hot shot, and to his left, the shortstop grabbed it. Riddle to Castro. First time he's made an out in forever, it seems. So after 4, it's a wild one. 4-2 Miami. Rocking on at the ballpark here. 5th inning coming up. 4-2 Marlins. Choose a winning team for your vehicle. Jiffy Lube for value and convenience. JiffyLubeDC.com. And the 29-year-old lefty Matt Grace, appearance number 24. 30 innings, 25 strikeouts, just 23 hits. He'll take on Miguel Rojas, who bats for Rucinski, who just came in and got a 2-pitch out. So it's a bullpen day as we move top 5 in game 4. Rojas against Grace, career 2 for 4 with 2 runs batted in. It's Matt's first appearance in this series. Busted bat, base hit. Ball kind of twisting its way up the middle with some crazy spin off that busted bat.
Matt did a nice job the other day filling in for Eric Fetty when he came out with a sore shoulder. Real nice job.
Yeah, 4 innings, no runs on 1 hit against the Red Sox. No walks, struck out 4, picked a batter off. 6 ground ball outs, 46 pitches. Top of the order, Derek Dietrich. 3 for 3 getting on, no official at bats yet. And against Grace, he's 0 for 5 with a walk. Perfect fastball painted to the outside edge. And right side on the pop-up. Key boom. One-hander. First out, 5th inning. Now Matt takes on Brian Anderson.
Adam Conley getting hot in the Marlins bullpen.
And he got clobbered here the other night, but the Marlins said into that outing he had been lights out for a couple of weeks. And the Nats, with that big comeback Thursday night, he was right in the middle of all of that. Right now it's Grayson Anderson. Brian 1 for 1 against him. He's hit into 1 double play already with a grounder to Turner back in the 1st. And Grace on a pitch that Jim Reynolds took a long look at. Strike 2.
I'm with you. There was an extra click there before he called that strike, wasn't there? I was thinking that was close. And then he called it a strike.
And this one to right for Adam Eaton. 2 down. JT Realmuto and Matt Grace have matched up 7 times. 1 for 5, 2 walks. And this guy's having a big day. 3 hits. All the other way. Last one was the grounder to Murphy, on which Daniel had a long way to go. And this swift running catcher beat it out. He's now hitting .313.
Do you think he's thinking like a catcher? I got 3 hits to right. They're going to come in here, and he's looking to turn.
Well, if you're a catcher, you have to think that
right?
way, right?
I mean, he's a smart player. He's got 3 hits the other way. He has to be looking in here. That's how you eliminate pitches. You eliminate zones with success early in the game. Well, I think one of those to right was inside. He just inside out it. Yeah, they're coming in.
And this one in the air. Adam Eaton, glove for shade to his knees. And that's the sun monster we talk about this time of the year in this ballpark. Had it all the way.
Not a problem. Future Cavalier right there, maybe. They're having a good time. Beautiful day for a ball game. Give me some, yeah. And this guy's just out of control. I don't know what he's doing. He's happy about something. I like it. I like the energy. Everyone having fun at the yard. I like it.
4-11-0 Marlins, 2-4-1 Nats. Adams, Murphy, Keyboom. And this call to the bullpen brought to you by the UPS Store. Need expert printing? The UPS Store has you covered. Together, there's nothing they can't solve. So Adam Conley had a nightmare the other night in that Thursday game when the Nats made the big comeback. He pitched 2/3 of an inning, gave up only 2 hits, but he walked 4, and before he knew it, he was responsible for 5 runs, and he got the loss in that 14-12 Nats win. As mentioned, he had been great for them for a couple of weeks, and FP, we noticed his fastball at 97.
Yeah, it averages 95. He throws it 65% of the time. Slider, changeup to go with that fastball. Slider 88, changeup 85. But it was these lefties coming up that did the damage.
Adams had a hit against him. He threw 35 pitches, 15 strikes. So he's in protect mode today. And Matt has had a base hit and a walk. Conley, 28 years of age, from Redmond, Washington originally. Signed with the Marlins out of Washington State. He'd been drafted out of high school by the Twins. He went from a 32nd rounder to a 2nd rounder in 3 years. So Prado, the third baseman, has moved to the right side. And Adams is going to hit it right to him. No better time to whack than today. PNC make today the day with minor league insights. Matt Wieters on his rehab. So last night and today, a base hit, RBI, a double, a walk. And he's been taken out of the game today, and hopefully his return is imminent. Daniel Murphy, 1 for 1, base hit, sac fly, 2 RBIs. Murphy against Conley career, 5 for 8. And now 5 out of 9 as he gets the feed from Justin Bohr, 2 down. Next up, Spencer Keyboom, 2 really good at bats. Base hit to right. Robbed of an extra base hit by Dietrich. It's like Justin Miller for the 6th. They do have Bohr leading off. So if Keyboom makes the last out and it doesn't get down to the number 9 spot, Mark Grace, you would think, would bat, and Matt Grace, pardon me. I don't think Mark Grace wants to be in there against any of these guys right now. Matt would stay in and hit and then pitch at least to Bohr before the right-handers start showing up. Between the Reynolds and the Graces, you got to keep your Marks and Matts in order.
Yeah, wait till Carter Keyboom gets here.
Remind me of my days doing college baseball. Everybody gets a first name above their given name. Keep it all straight. That's strike 2. So Conley dealing so far here.
Yeah, Mark Grace was a throwback. The day game at Wrigley Field, if you got to first, he smelled like cigarettes. He did. I'd smoke him in the tunnel. Throat rockets in the tunnel between at-bats and get 3 hits. 3 soft line drives to left, and then he'd cheat for a fastball in and hit a home run.
Yeah, he could flat out hit.
Could pick it too.
Swing and a miss. So looks like Matt Grace against Justin Bohr, 6th inning ahead. The Nats still down by 2.
Grace has been very effective in long relief situations for the Nationals over the last couple of years. As mentioned earlier, the 4 scoreless innings he pitched here at Nationals Park just a couple days ago, but he also delivered those 4 1/3 scoreless in San Diego last year when Max Scherzer went down injured, and he made the spot start. I asked Grace the other day how he's been able to be so effective in these spots where he needs to really go long. And he said it's all about aggression, just going out there trying to attack the strike zone as much as possible, and also not focusing on how many innings he can give or will give. Really just putting his head down, powering through as many innings as possible, or until his manager tells him he's done for the day. So Matt Grace has really picked up this Nationals club in a couple different spots over the last couple of years, guys.
Sure has, Dan. He's become a very, very valuable man out of that bullpen. You got to have somebody who can come in and pitch 2 to 4 innings when things are going south. So he takes on Justin Bour here. Could be a one-hitter thing this inning. Bour 0 for 3 against him career. Nats in a shift, and the fastball in there. Matt needed 10 pitches, 7 strikes to take care of the Marlins in the 5th. So Miller is ready when needed.
That's a good pitch.
Yeah, just a little inside.
Was it? Barely?
According to Jim Reynolds, the announcer added. 2-1. Little chopper right side. Coming to get it. Adams right at the bag. 3 unassisted. And nobody walking out of the dugout for a pitching change at the moment. So the Marlins box score. Dietrich on base 3 times but hasn't scored. Real Muto 3 hits. He's driven 1 in. Cameron Maybin has an RBI. So lots of singles by the Marlins today.
More singles than Match.com, Carp. It's the worst joke I've ever made on the air. And that's saying something.
I was going to say, there's a few to choose from.
That was terrible.
And on Wednesday,
have a filter.
Folks on Facebook can check out some of your lines. You'll be working with Rich Waltz, our old friend from the Marlins, and Sean Casey.
Yeah, excited to do the game with Sean Casey and Rich.
A select number of MLB games are being broadcast this year exclusively on Facebook. So Wednesday will be the first Nationals game as part of that. So Wednesday's game cannot be viewed on mass and only on Facebook Watch. 2 balls, no strikes. Our next 5 games 1 and 2 at Pittsburgh. Jeffrey Rodriguez, Ivan Nova, Hellickson on Tuesday. Pirates haven't named a starter. Gio and right-hander Trevor Williams on Wednesday. Then we go to New York for 4 against the Mets. So the rest of the crew, the traveling crew, will be in a coffee shop with our laptops, constructively critiquing that telecast. 3-1. Castro, second hit of the day. He gets 2 every day, it seems. He's 6 for 12 against the Nats in this series, and that's his 107th hit. How about Nats Plus? And you can join us next year here at the Yard. Initial payment, if you make it today, you'll get exclusive Nats Plus membership benefits. So access to potential postseason games this year and next. And for a limited time, access to the 2018 All-Star Game as well. Visit nationals.com/2019. Martin Prado is 2 for 3. Left side, it gets through. Another single by Miami. 13 of them today. Crazy.
A pretty good effort by Mark Reynolds. Just hit it too hard. He's kind of in between right there, not playing in, but not playing back. And the ball was hit well again by Prado. Getting the ground balls just needs one at somebody.
Yeah.
Seed break.
Yeah, Tanner Roark had 6 ground ball outs today. They just weren't hit at anybody. He had 5 strikeouts. So here's JT Riddle, and he has 2 hits. He has been swinging early in the count today. And that's low and away. Out of the University of Kentucky. He's from one of your favorite towns, Frankfurt, the state capital.
You're still the only one that's ever gotten it. Live on TV, too. I asked Carp if you missed it. Do you pronounce the capital of Kentucky Louisville or Louisville? And then usually the person says one or the other, and then you say the capital of Kentucky is Frankfurt. But you nailed it. Can't get anything by you.
Yeah. A couple hundred things over the years. The ones you get are the ones that stand out. Who wants this one? Shortstop takes charge, and Trey had to drift with it. Talked about that breeze coming in over the big scoreboard in right center, and Trey puts it away. 2 down. Cameron Maben, the hitter. Flags over by Half Street are starting to move a little bit in from right center. They were stationary earlier. Just a beautiful day. They played Summer Breeze on the PA before the game today, and it's one of those days. Makes us feel fine. With a few more runs, of course. And here's Maben, who has singled in a run, walked, and struck out. Matt Grace trying to keep it a 2-run game. Isn't it funny? About a week and a half ago, down to 2 runs in the 6th inning, it felt like a real uphill climb, and now it just feels like, okay, they're going to take care of this somehow.
Yeah, it's doable. But when you look at the scoreboard out there, and I know it's early and maybe it's too early to look, but they could be 4 back today with what's going on if they find a way to climb back in this. Braves down 5-0. Phillies down 4-1.
And Milwaukee storming back to try to get a split in that series after Atlanta won the first 2. Hernan Perez has hit his 6th homer of the year. And the Braves just got 1, we are told, in the 5th inning.
I just think if you've won a division as much as the Nats have in the past, and you start to get close to those other teams that don't have that same experience that you have, they're going to get tight. You know, that gets to 4, that gets to 3, that gets to 2. Now,
sure,
they're watching. They know. They saw 18 runs last night.
And it's only July 8th. It's not September 8th. So
still, it's time.
It's time to establish yourself for the second half.
Right.
Strike 3 call. Matt Grace, inner edge. And what else is new? 2 scoreless frames for him to keep it 4-2. 2-4-1 Nats. Conley in the game. We'll see Wilmer Defoe in just a moment. Yeah, you just don't want this game to get into that mid-game lull and all of a sudden it's late. So time for some offense here in the middle.
We got some speed coming up down by 2. Defoe, Eaton, Turner. Hopefully one of those guys gets on, creates some havoc out there on the bases. Not a long way to go in this game. It's starting to get late. But like I said, you know, if you're in first place by 5 or 6 games, you win the first 3 of a series, you're not so much cruise in the 4th game. You want to put the hammer down regardless. But there's no time to take days off now. So this game is as important as the first game of the series in my mind. But the natural instinct of a baseball player is we've won 3. If we get 4, that's great. If not, whatever, we still won 3 out of the 4, and you just want to win series. But it's getting late, and I don't think you have that cushion or luxury anymore if you're the Nets.
Game number 88 on the year today. Defoe against Adam Conley, who had a 1-2-3 6th inning. Defoe career against this guy, 3 for 6, with a homer and a walk. And Conley, a former starter, never much success against the Nats. What a great 2 innings by Matt Grace, even though he gave up 3 hits, but he's just been shutting everybody down and keeping them off the board. All that matters for relievers is who scores. Defoe takes a 2-1 changeup in there. Wilmer hitting .315 at Nationals Park. So the Nats box, 3 hits, 1 run in the 2nd. When Reynolds walked, ended up scoring in the Murphy base hit. And since then, only 1 hit, the Reynolds double in the 3rd. Nationals have stranded 9, the Marlins 13. So Justin Miller's up for the 2nd time today, and he'll pitch the 7th. They'll have their pitcher leading off.
Big pitch coming.
And Defoe can't get to it. 2nd strikeout by Conley. Mercedes-Benz on the pitch cast.
Yeah, 3-2 changeup here from Conley. It's after showing him some fastballs in. Good pitch.
Adam Eaton 0 for 2 with a walk. Kind of an unusual matchup number. Strike 1. Eaton 3 career at bats against Conley, all walks.
So he wanted to drag this to 2nd, and the pitch was away. That's the reason he couldn't bring it with him. He wanted to bunt this hard towards 2nd base. The pitch is away, and he had to take it. He was looking for something middle in, like that. So even though guys square around the bunt, they still have to get a pitch in a location. You know, you give it away early in the count. Yeah, the surprise factor is off. That was off speed, so he was out in front, if you will, on a bunt because it was an off-speed pitch. First one is away. You can't bring that with you away. So even though guys bunt, and he's a good base hit bunter, I'll put him up against anybody, you still need the pitch you're looking for to lay down the bunt the way you want to.
Swing and a miss. Conley 3 consecutive strikeouts. And he faces Trey Turner here. Put a little icing on the cake from last night. So in Expos Nats history, single game records for RBIs. Josh Willingham had it into last year. Rendon got 10. And then Trey matches the hammer this year, and Reynolds gets 10. And the others, great Expos. Tim Wallach, who's in the ballpark with Don Mattingly as his bench coach.
That's old bench coach Chris Spire in there.
How about that? Chris Spire could play both sides of the ball. Turner against Conley, career, looking for his first base hit, 0 for 7. Turner out ahead. Into the 4 o'clock hour. BCFP DK. It'll take us as long to get to Dulles after the game as it will to get from Dulles to Pittsburgh. Right now the Nats need to rally here and try to grab game 4 in a sweep here after being swept by Boston. Way inside, ball 3 to Trey. Marlins are headed home to take on Milwaukee. And we'll be in Miami on the next road trip after the upcoming one. Nats go Pittsburgh, New York here. And then after the Atlanta series following the All-Star break, it'll be Milwaukee, Miami.
There's teams in the NL Central?
We've only played them 7 times, and the Nats are 7-0 against the Reds and the Pirates. Haven't seen the Cardinals, Cubs, or Brewers. That will change soon. That's a swing and a miss, and Trey can run. Can he get there? He will. Ball got away from Rio Muto. So that's the 3rd strikeout of the inning, but Trey Turner gets on base.
I don't think he knew it got by Real Muto. The dugout was screaming, go, 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 go. You could hear it initially. It's a nasty cutter down and in. And he didn't know that Real Muto missed it. Everyone in the dugout screaming, go, go, go. Real Muto did everything he could, but now the tying run comes to the plate in the form of Juan Soto. So that's a break for the Nats.
Yeah, and if you're thinking automatic double, he's got a lefty looking right at him. That's a strikeout and a pass ball.
I think a 1-run game, he'd be in a hurry to steal second here. I think down 2, he's going to let Juan Soto hit for a minute.
No swing, says Mark Wegner, the crew chief at 3rd.
And you could hear Tim Wallach and Don Madley screaming, yeah, yeah, yeah. They're trying to sell the call there to Mark Wegner.
Soto 0 for 1 with a walk against Conley. And he pulled the string on him with a mid-80s changeup.
He'd bet 1-0 fastball, trying to tie the game up with 1 swing, and got the changeup. And usually lefties don't see changeups from other lefties. Probably surprised him.
2-1.
Throw a changeup here again.
And Soto out to center, well hit, but Maben is there. And the Nats are done in the 6th. They've stranded 10 in a 4-2 game.
military by sharing a photo or video with hashtag Hats Off for Heroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
For 13-0 Miami, 2-4-1 Nats. Gilligan's Island today, 23 runners stranded in this one. Wells Fargo, a look ahead to the road trip. The Nats will play 3 in Pittsburgh against the Bucks, who are 8 under, and they are struggling to stay ahead of the suddenly resurgent Jim Riggleman Reds in the Central. They've lost 12 of 16, and the Mets lost today, and they're having a rough go of it. 35-51 now. 4 games there, Thursday through Sunday. Justin Miller for the Nats here, 31-year-old right-hander, 20th appearance, 35 strikeouts in 23 2/3. Nats only needed Scherzer and Kelly to get through the game last night. In Justin's last inning, 1 hit, 1 strikeout, a scoreless 6th in the close game on Friday night. Yadiel Rivera hitting in the pitcher's spot here for Conley, who just spun 2 scoreless innings on 4 strikeouts. Top of the 7th, 0-1 pitch, right in there.
Yeah, fastball mid-90s, crossfire action, slider to go with it. And based on what we've seen from Justin Miller, it's hard to pick up his fastball. We see a lot of swings and misses. I've been calling it the invisible heater.
A lot of sharp break and drop on that slider. Inside out swing on a pitch that jammed him. Potomac Nationals, yeah, their most unique giveaway yet. Next Saturday, a Michael A. Tater potato statue presented by Northwest Federal Credit Union. Gates open at 5, first pitch 6:35 next Saturday. Michael A. Tater potato statue.
Love it.
French fries are half. No, they're not. No, they're not half price.
Let's see what that looks like.
Michael A. Tater.
That's probably one you want to get, but you really don't want to see, you know? Half Michael A. Taylor, half potato.
Well, it could be worse. It could be Mr. Potato Head for the first 1,250.
Maybe that's what it looks like.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The Peanuts give us so many chuckles during the season.
When we read that promo every single game. They do.
I mean, they're out of ideas now that they're done with Worth and Kolko.
Yeah, it's only downhill from there.
One ball, 2 strikes to Rivera. Hit his first big league homer last night. The Nats cooperated in getting him that baseball. And he's got a knock. Unbelievable. 14 singles for the Marlins. Top of the order, Derek Dietrich, who's 1-for-1 career with a walk against Justin Miller. 0-for-1 today, hit by 2 pitches and walked.
Look. It's a Michael A. Tater potato statue. If you're home right now, Google it, and you'll laugh hard.
They did it to him, didn't they?
Yeah, they did it to him.
Yeah.
Did he approve of that?
I hope so.
I hope not.
I think not, but I hope so.
I mean, if he approved of that, he's got a better sense of humor than I would have. Because that is scary.
They put some sunglasses on that they could be a yard gnome. Dietrich got a play left side.
They have a Bryce Harper real hair slicked back bobblehead. It says grease by it. These are good.
Is there a date on that one?
The best one is Strasburg on the Kentucky Derby horse. Trey Turner, Roadrunner. Looks pretty darn creepy. No, but there's no way Michael A. signed off on that. There's no way.
Runner going when that pitch low and in. Spencer Keyboom had no chance. And Yadiel Rivera has his second stolen base.
Great jump by Rivera. Check it out. Looking all the way. Picked a good pitch to go on. Maybe he saw a sign. And nothing Spencer could do with that.
Marlins 2 steals today. The least running team in the league. That ball's ripped into right. Adam Eaton's going to circle and charge. They're going to send the runner. No chance at home. Rivera scores, and it's 5-2 on yet another single by Miami. Derek Dietrich on for the 4th time.
Well, that was quick. Base hit up the middle, and then Dietrich, who's having a great season, on base for the 4th time as the leadoff hitter. Gets his first knock and drives in a big run. Rivera can run. No hesitation sending him there with nobody out.
Nobody out. Dietrich doesn't run much. 1 steal. Brian Anderson is 0 for 4. Their best young player not in on the party today, when they've had 15 hits in 6 innings plus 2 batters. Crazy. The Nats have been out hit 15-4 and still very much in this game. Time for the bullpen to stop it, though. Matt Grace did his part. 2 scoreless innings. Started, stopped. And a 2-1 now. Tried to get the inside edge with the fastball. There have been some strikes in there today with Jim Reynolds behind the plate. Nissan, how close was it?
Super close, I think.
Well, that was in on his hands, and Anderson able to get his hands inside it. 3 more singles in a row here in the 7th inning, and that's Anderson's first of the day. 2 on, nobody out. JT Real Muto. Marlins are probably thinking they'd like to deal a knockout blow right here in the 7th. They're already up by 3.
That's got to be close to a record, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're researching now. Real Muto 3 for 4.
I'm looking online. It says 28 singles in a game.
Whoa, 9-inning game?
Yeah. 26 in the American League, 28 in the National League.
Wow.
That's combined, though.
That gets through Trey Turner. Dietrich scores. Anderson to third. And the Marlins lead 6-2.
Hit it hard. See how they score it. Kind of cut her away. Ricocheted off the mound. Took a bad hop there at the end. Kind of came up and bit him in the heel of the glove. And they scored that a hit?
They did give him a base hit, which also gives Real Muto an RBI. His second of the day. So the Marlins 4 consecutive hits here in the 7th. Crazy when you think about it. Pitchers would be better off with launch angle today. Everything on the ground has been tweeners all day long. Justin Bour is 1 for 3 with a base hit, a steal, and a walk. Brandon Kinsler getting heated up. And an 0-2 count. Got it by him for the first out.
Well, you want to keep it within slam range, so big strikeout right there. Now you're looking for a ground ball from Starlin Castro. Get out of the inning and keep it within reach.
Yeah, you know what the Marlins and their broadcasters are thinking? We can't have too many runs against these guys. They want more. That's got to stop it. It's Castro and Miller. Starlin Castro 1 for 2 against him. Runner from first goes on target throw. Now the cat and mouse game between the infielders and the runner at third, and he'll go back while they get Real Muto in the rundown. So well played by the Nats, starting with a good throw by Kibu.
It looked like JT Real Muto was stealing, then he knew he didn't have it, so he stopped and trying to get another run across by staying in the rundown. Murphy did a nice job of catching the ball, closing down the gap, looking the guy back to third first. And then Matt Adams with the tag as Real Muto goes sliding by. So a big second out here and keeping it a 4-run game.
And if you're scoring, caught stealing, 2-4-3, second out, 0-1 to Castro. The pitch was a strike. Now it's 0-2. Strike 3 call. Justin Miller was walking toward the dugout before that call was made. He knew it. Marlins pick up 2. Bryce leads off. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. Everybody's so friendly in the concourse today. Hi, guys.
Nobody's sweating either. It's a beautiful day for baseball, beautiful day for a comeback. Check out some Tanner Roark strikeouts. Today, Tanner battled, Tanner fought. We know that. He does that every 5th day regardless. So we're showing you the strikeouts that he featured today, and it's time for Toyota K's for Kids. Washington area Toyota dealers help children and their families by making a $44 donation to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by Nats pitcher this year. Toyota K's for Kids.
So Tanner threw 102 pitches, 62 strikes, hit Dietrich twice, walked him once, one of his 3 walks. And so while he didn't pitch deep into the game, he gutted it out there in the 4th and kept it within a 2-run difference. 27-year-old Drew Steckenrider. And this would be his 43rd appearance, up among the league leaders in relievers. That's right at the top. And Brett Ziegler's up there too with 42. First off, it's Bryce. Steckenrider pitched in the 8th inning on Friday night. He walked Rendon and Harper to start the inning. Gave up a Matt Adams base hit and then got out of the inning. So Bryce is 0 for 3 career against the hard thrower. And the 96 fastball misses away. Bryce today 0 for 2, intentionally walked in the 4th.
And Steckenrider's fastball is a good one, averages 95. He'll cut the fastball. It's more of a slider at 88, and he's got a changeup too that he rarely throws. So mostly fastballs from the 6'5", 215-pound right-hander.
3 in a row away.
Need base runners.
Yeah, this is kind of Bryce's life. His team's down by 4, and they still reluctantly even think about challenging him. 4 balls in a row. 92 walks on the year.
It's time for your Ford drive of the game. Hurry to your local Ford dealers for great savings on cars, trucks, and SUVs. Mark Reynolds, who had the monster game last night, with this double right here in the third inning, reached base 9 straight times. So I told you about 5 for 5, 2 homers, 10 RBI, but on base 9 straight times, and hit the ball hard. The shortstop his last time up.
That was with the bases loaded, 2 outs in the 4th.
Tried to mix in a slider because he doesn't have a feel for the heater, and he didn't throw that for a strike.
Right, left side of the infield overloaded. Oh, there's that inside strike call. I mentioned earlier, Jim Reynolds has liked the inside strike to right-handed batters today. Bottom of the box. Good crowd today, 30,464. So the Nats will draw 126,000 or so for this 4-game series. Drew over 115,000 for the Boston series. Two. That's inside. So we've had just under 250,000 fans in the ballpark this week. Wow.
Well, you're all in on a heater here. If he throws anything else, he's got you. Up by 4, you throw 97, 3-2, you're all over a heater.
And that's going to be called strike 3. Reynolds thought he had walked. The inside call again, 1 out here in the 7th.
Well, he got the heater, wasn't a strike though. Break goes the Marlins' way on that one. That would have been the 9th walk of the day for the Marlins. Tough to win a major league game walking 8 guys.
Yeah. Nats still have just 4 hits. Here's Matt Adams, who has 1 of those. And he'll pop it up. Mabin, left center. 2 outs in the 7th.
All right, the Braves are coming to town. We need you here wearing red and being real loud. It's a big series, biggest one I could remember in a long time. So July 20th through the 22nd. Now's your chance to make a difference. Go to nationals.com to buy your tickets right now.
Daniel Murphy, 1 for 3 with a walk. Pardon me, that's Adams now. Murphy right behind him, 1 for 2 with a sac fly and 2 batted in. One.
If you're wondering why they just threw over right there with the 4-run lead, Bryce took off on the Matt Adams pop-up and then stopped after about 3 hard steps. He was going and then hit the brakes.
2-1. And that one speared by Justin Bohr. Takes a hit away. And the Nats have stranded 11. To the 8th we go. 6-2 Miami.
Shores of the Allegheny. That's some really crystal clear water. You can drink right out of it. Monday, 7 p.m. Jeffrey Rodriguez on the mound for the Nats. 2 starts, 4 games, 5.52 ERA. Doing a nice job out of the bullpen on the mound. Ivan Nova for the Pirates. Coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. with Nats Extra on Masson 2. 6-2 here as we go to the top of the 8th.
Yeah, crazy line. 6-17-0. Miami. 2-4-1 Nats. Brandon Kintzler. 38th appearance. 33 hits. 25 Ks in 34 innings. Opponents hitting .260 against him. And he'll go 6, 7, 8 here. Prado, Riddle, and Maben for the Marlins and their singular attack today.
So you ready for some numbers on that? The most singles in a 9-inning game since 1900 is 26 by the Brewers in August of '92. 26. They had 31 hits in the game. 26 were singles. The most ever without an extra base hit, the Dodgers in 1988 in June had 22 singles for all their hits.
It's a Marlins record. We are told. Prado has 3 of them. Crazy. And the foul ball, 1-2. So the Pirates beat the Phillies 4-1, that final in a few minutes ago. And in Milwaukee, Brewers still taking care of business, 5-1 as they bat bottom 6 against Atlanta. Two.
Brewers won that game 22-2 against the Blue Jays.
This one cut off. Bare hand, Kintzler. Well done. Probably a hit if it gets by him. Those were not Harvey's wall bangers that day, huh?
A nice play by Brandon Kintzler, jumping off the mound, bare hand play, going away from it, fielded this like a shortstop. Sneaky good athlete, by the way.
Yeah.
And you could kind of tell by the way he went about this one. Kevin Seitzer went 5 for 7 in that one. Darrell Hamilton, the late Darrell Hamilton, 4 for 7. Scott Fletcher, remember him?
The Scooter.
5 for 6.
Yeah. Kevin Seitzer, of course, the Braves hitting coach. And Scott Fletcher did something that is hard to do at the big league level. He started his career for several years as a utility guy and eventually made himself into an everyday player. Did a lot of that with the Texas Rangers and had a nice career.
Pat Listash went 4 for 6.
Former Nats coach.
Paul Molitor had 3 hits.
Quickest bat, along with Anthony Rendon, we've ever seen.
He went 3 for 7 and probably went home upset.
Thought he had a bad day. 3 for 7. That's crazy. And what year is that?
1992.
So that was in Milwaukee?
That was in Toronto, I believe.
Oh, in Toronto. Okay. Yeah, you'd almost have to have the DH to have a game like that.
Yeah.
Brandon Kinsler gets a called strike on JT Riddle. Marlins have 2 hits from the number 9 spot by pinch hitters today. So in the National League Park here, looks like Brad Ziegler for the 8th, and then the Nats would see Kyle Bearclaw after that. Cameron Maybin is 1 for 3. And he's going to hook that one out into left field. Big round to the bag. Soto gets to it. And into the batter's box will be the rookie Garrett Cooper.
Another single. Strange game, isn't it? You just never know what you're going to see at the ballpark. Last night, Mark Reynolds 5 for 5, 10 RBIs, 2 home runs, and then the Marlins with 18 singles today.
And I think that's the first time in Major League history a team's had 18 singles after giving up 18 runs the night before. It's just a guess.
Strong one.
The Nats need to keep it at 18 and then make some noise with 6 outs remaining. Kinsler throws it by Cooper. 0-2.
That Dodger game when they had 22, which is the record, all singles. Steve Sachs was 5 for 6. Mickey Hatcher was 5 for 6. Steve Sachs did not make an error in that game. He didn't. I'm looking at the box score.
Good for him.
Friend of mine, I can say that.
Funny guy.
Hilarious.
No balls, 2 strikes.
Scored.
Fun to go back through old box scores and just some names, guys you just haven't thought about in years.
I just love box scores. I'm addicted to them. I read them every morning. I like going on and looking at the old ones. I think it's one of the best things about the summer.
Target away.
I don't know if people do that anymore, Carp. I mean, when I was young, my dad used to wake up, coffee, and box scores. So then as a kid, I would sit there and try to emulate my dad. And when he was done with the sports page, I'd grab it and read all the box scores.
Check the standings and right to the box scores.
Yeah, see who did what the night before. You didn't have the MLB network in every single game televised, so you had to find out how your favorite players did by the morning newspaper. Sounded really old, but that's how we did.
Not that old.
I mean, that was in the 80s. Now you get to see every single game on your local network, and I think that's great.
Two balls, two strikes. That is some jammage right there. Murphy throws out Cooper and a 0 on the board. The Nats have 8, 9, and 1 due up, down 4. Lexus, experience amazing. And by American Standard Heating and Air, find your local independent American Standard Heating and Air dealer at midatlanticcomfort.com. Josh Gibson watching another 420-foot fly ball leave the yard. So it's Brad Ziegler now for the Marlins. As mentioned earlier, one of the busier relief pitchers in the National League, along with his teammate Steckenrider. This will be his 43rd appearance. And he'll face Spencer Kieboom. And the Nats have a lefty bat, Brian Goodwin, for the number 9 spot. Kieboom 1 for 3 today, and their left fielder Derek Dietrich kept him from an even bigger day.
Ziegler, 38 years old. The fastball average is 84, but you just saw the release point. Big time ground ball pitcher. You probably know that. 71% of his outs are on the ground this year. So look for it above the belt. Anything below it, take.
Nats still looking for their first hit since Mark Reynolds' one-out double in the 3rd inning.
Well, you see it all the time. 18 hits one night, and then the next day it's tough.
1-2.
Tell me 17 hits last night. But if I get within 1, I count it. It's like horseshoes. When I'm guessing on the air, if I'm close, it counts.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. In both of their big blowout games in the series, the Nats had more runs than hits. Thursday night, 14 runs, 12 hits. Key Boom got a piece of it, but strikes out. And the Nationals are down to their final 5 outs. Brian Goodwin will be next, a lefty against the right-hander. And he's 1 for 2 career against Brad Ziegler.
See, this is a shift that with Ziegler's side armor and the ball going away from your lefty, they have 3 infielders on the right side. I would think as a left-hander, you hit this ball to shortstop naturally if you stay on it.
Close, ball 1. Ryan Madsen for the 9th. Ziegler looked like he's playing catch out there. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and 2 swinging strikeouts here in the 8th. Adam Eaton trying to get something fired up here with 2 outs for Turner and Soto. Adam today an 0 for 3 day with a walk. Marlins are trying to break a 14-game losing streak against the Nationals. Amazing over that time. So because today's result isn't in, those are the numbers going into today. Plus 68 on the runs. There's that changeup, and it's 0-2. And that's it for the Nats. Ziegler strikes out the side. To the 9th we go. It's 6-2 as Miami tries to salvage one.
Moment, JT Realmuto having a big day, so We're giving them the moment. First time up, base hit. Second time up, base hit. I think you know the theme right here, right? Another single. Beating that one out to Daniel Murphy, and then this one up the middle. So his average started at 305 today. It's 314 right now.
So Mark Reynolds in this series has gone crazy. Double and a walk today. JT Realmuto doing his usual thing. Just such an outstanding two-way player for them. And Daniel Murphy. First two Nats runs driven in, and the only two. So here's Ryan Madsen for the top of the Miami order in the ninth. Fastball away, and it caught the edge to Derek Dietrich. Brian Goodwin stays in and plays right field, and off his feet for the rest of the day. Adam Eaton to rest up for the road trip. Ball fouled. Marlins had a 4-0 lead when Trevor Richards left the game. Actually, 4-2 lead, and he can't get the win. Didn't go 5. So we'll see what the official scorer thinks. It's his discretion what reliever gets the win. Rucinski was next in line, but he only faced one batter, and then Conley threw 2 scoreless innings, so he could end up getting the W. And evidently it's already been announced in the press box that Conley is the pitcher of record for Miami if the Nats don't come back and tie it or win it. Madsen 1 and 2 to Dietrich. Two. Three-two pitch. No swing, and Dietrich's on for the 5th time today.
It's a good leadoff hit. On base 5 times. 2 walks, 2 hit by pitches, a base hit.
His on base percentage probably over 360 now. Started the day at 346. Next up is Brian Anderson. Rookie base hit last time up. Drills this one to right. And Brian Goodwin cruising back for it. Short of the track for the first out.
The biggest contribution Dietrich's made today is the catch on Spencer Kieboom's line drive in the 3rd with 2 guys on. That would have made it a 4-4 game, you're thinking.
Yeah.
2 guys on. 2 outs. They were running on the crack of the bat.
JT Realmuto. He's caught almost the entire series. His backup Brian Holliday got into the game toward the end last night. And the 0-2, short lead by Dietrich. Another. There's number 19 on the singles chart for today.
5 hits for Real Muto now. That leg kick nice and early. I'm telling you, I see him and he reminds me of Craig Biggio every time I look at him. Similar type player. Biggio with a leg kick, but he had all the gear on, stood right on top of the plate, got hit by more pitches. But their swings, their game. If you remember, Biggio was a catcher when he started, then moved to second base. And you wonder if they're thinking about that with Real Muto in the future to prolong his career. I mean, he's such a good athlete. Do you think about putting him maybe at a second base so that he plays longer with this kind of offensive production? I've never seen him take ground balls, but he seems like a great athlete behind the plate.
Yeah, turned Biggio into a Hall of Famer, didn't it?
They say he plays a good first base when he's not catching. Yeah, and it did. You're right. Good point.
Yeah, 3,000 hits and HOF. Madsen to Bohr. And Justin Bohr swings through it. No balls, 2 strikes. That ball's drilled to the gap. And the Marlins trying to put this one out of reach. Dietrich scores. Real Muto around. And now it's 8-2. So 4 against Tanner Roark and 4 now against the bullpen.
And the first extra base hit of the day for the Marlins.
Justin Bohr, RBIs number 41 and 42.
Their 20th hit today, and it's the first extra base hit.
Starlin Castro has a couple knocks. And right now, only 3 players in the league. Nick Markakis. Well, he's tied right now, depending on what Ozzie Albies did today in Milwaukee and Scooter Gennett did for the Reds in their game at Chicago. So this guy's got just about as many hits as anybody in baseball. So Ozzie Albies 1 hit today. Castro 1 behind him. Scooter Gennett, no knocks yet for the Reds. And the off speed looks like a hook, stayed inside. And a 2-2. I'm sure Davey doesn't want to have to bring Kelvin Herrera into a game here.
He doesn't want to extend Ryan Madsen too far either.
Yeah, it's a good call. And this one popped up right side. Murphy going out. And he let Brian Goodwin know with the right arm raised that he had it. 2 down.
The tricky part, I think, especially for a young manager, one of his first go-arounds, the bullpen, when to get guys up, when to bring them in. And if you do get somebody up, do you bring them in, or do you? So that's the tricky part. You know, you talk to bullpen guys all the time. They don't like to get hot and then not come in a game. And I think, you know, as a young manager, that's probably the hardest part. You're getting him up because you don't want Madsen to go 40 pitches here.
Right.
And lose him for a couple of days because, you know, Ryan's 37 and back-to-back days are probably getting tougher for him. But then when you get a guy like that hot and don't bring him in, that's a part that fans don't really realize or see when those relievers are consistently getting hot and not coming into a game.
Fair ball, right field corner. And Boer's going to score. It's going to make it a 9-2 ball game. Martin Prado, a 4-hit day.
Derek Lilliquist on the phone to the bullpen. And Herrera's getting hot. He's full throttle right now.
JT Riddle, 2 for 5 with an RBI, and that one back to the screen. Wild pitch ruled. Now it's going to be 10-2. 4 more hits, 5 more hits, and 4 more runs here in the 9th. And the 8th Marlin to bat will be Cameron Maidman.
Yeah, Herrera's hot. He quit throwing down there. I don't know if he's coming in or not. I definitely know he's not used to coming into a 10-2 game.
Everybody but Doolittle and Kelly have been used today.
Sean's got a toe thing going on too.
Yeah, and he threw 18 pitches last night, pitching 2 scoreless innings. So here's pitch number 31. Ball 4. Second walk of the inning. Catcher Brian Holliday set to hit. This looks like more of an extended visit with an umpire than you would see on a simple double switch.
Well, Pedro Severino's got his gear on. He's coming into the game. And who's coming in to pitch? Is it Herrera?
He's still standing out in the bullpen.
Is it a position player? Mark Reynolds going to pitch here?
They're going to hand the ball to Mark Reynolds, who's done everything else in this series.
Got to take his glasses off.
Well, here we are in the top of the 9th inning, and Mark Reynolds is about to throw his first major league pitch. And it's a wild pitch, and the Marlins runners just stay at first and second.
Well, there you go. I think he's got a knuckleball. I saw him throw a curveball in his warm-ups.
Pedro Severino now catching with Key Boom at third.
Cutter. Make sure he comes set, Mark.
Crowd urging him on here.
Slow down. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. It's going fast for Mark Reynolds right now.
Ground ball right side. Matt Adams. And Mark Reynolds has a no-hitter going into his next big league appearance.
He didn't cover first. What are you thinking? Watch Mark Reynolds here. 2-0 count, comes set. Little squibber off the end. Forgot to cover first. Get over there. And I always thought as a hitter it was tough hitting off those guys. But good follow through. He held the pose for about 10 seconds after the pitch. Here's a reaction from Zimmerman, Scherzer. And then coming off the field, he went over to Matt Adams and said, my bad, I got to get over there.
All right, Dan, what did you see and hear down there?
Well, Bob, Mark Reynolds has been asking Davey to let him pitch in a game for a little while now. This is something that he's been pushing his manager for, and Davey hates the idea of a position player pitching. He just thinks that in a competitive game, it's not something that he wants to do. Got put in a situation there where he decided to do it, and Reynolds has, I don't know if that was a knuckleball there for that final out, but he does have a nasty knuckleball. He throws it during BP sometimes, and I've seen it. It dances all over the place, so good for him.
Kyle Bearclaw against Trey Turner, bottom of the 9th. And Trey smacks a one-hopper right into the mitt of Kyle Bearclaw. Eight saves to go along with Ziegler's 10 out of their bullpen. This guy has a big arm too. Look at those opponents' batting average numbers. Microscopic. Soto next. And if it gets down to the number 5 spot, the Nats will not be pinch hitting for the pitcher. Fastball away to Juan, who is 0 for 2 with 2 walks and a run scored. The 1-1. So for the Nats, unless something amazing happens here, it'll be a 3-4 homestand. Two and 1. Jeffrey Rodriguez and Ivan Nova. Nats at Pirates tomorrow night. Nats Extra, 6:30. 7 o'clock, we'll join you from beautiful PNC Park.
Tell you what, Pittsburgh wins most improved city in the league. From the ballpark to the downtown area. Three Rivers used to be a dump, sorry. I know a lot of people probably grew up going there, but that was not a fun place to play.
And an absolute oven during the summer. No air in that place at all. Cookie cutter stadiums were like that. Yeah, one of the original cookie cutters was over on East Capitol Street. 3-2 to Soto. Swing and a miss. 2 down. Johnny Holiday and Ray Knight trying to make some sense out of this as we get to Nats Extra. As soon as the ball game's over and Bryce Harper tries to keep that from happening. Bryce today on base twice. Strikeout, fly ball to left, 2 walks.
Watching his adjustments today, it seems like he's starting a little lower so he doesn't crouch down and come up. He's even on his legs more. Maybe starting low and staying low is the plan moving forward.
Three and 0. Come on, it's 10-2. Throw him a fastball down the middle. Once. Pitcher on deck. In there, 3-1. He's walked for the 3rd time today.
Well, maybe the next time you see Bryce Harper hit, it'll be in the home run derby. And remember this the other night? Mark Reynolds 3-0 count. He had a 3-0 green light, swung through it. Then this was a 3-1 pitch. And drive home safely, everybody. One of the better moments of the year at the ballpark.
Bear Claw fell behind, paid the price. And that was the night after the amazing comeback win. The Nats took that momentum into last night's blowout. All Marlins today, and Reynolds, he's going to have one more hit. So as a major league pitcher, he's never given up a hit. And as a hitting pitcher, he's batting 1,000.
Well, someone should run him out his jacket right now. If I was in that dugout right now, I'd have ran out and gave him a jacket.
Scherzer probably wants to pinch run for him right now.
Bring him his jacket. He's the pitcher. Stay hot, Mark Reynolds. Love it. Such a great story, man. I hope it keeps going. This is fantastic.
So Mark Reynolds on this homestand goes 10 for 16 with 3 homers, 12 RBIs, and 3 walks. Right side. And that's it. That was that Real Muto made that play? He might have switched over there with his guy Holiday behind the plate. So the Nats drop one 10-2 to the Marlins, who out-hit them 22-5 today. And the homestand is over. Swept by Boston. Excitement against Miami. Not able to get it done today, and we're with you from Pittsburgh. Masson 2 tomorrow night. Coverage begins at 6:30. This has been a presentation of Masson. Stay tuned now. Johnny and Ray are straight ahead with Nats Extra post game coming up from the ballpark. So it's on to Pittsburgh. Until then, so long for just a while.